Welcome on in, guys. Tobin here with you. Thanks for checking out the channel. If you guys could subscribe here, that'd be cool. If you're just stopping by, I appreciate you too. Miami Heat getting ready for one of their bigger weeks of the season. This is a fun week ahead of basketball as they have a couple of home games against some rival teams. The New York Knicks will be in tomorrow, which means you're going to have a lot of Bobos from the Bronx and dudes with Spreewell jerseys with pit stains on them. It's going to be disgusting for a corner of the Kaseya Center. So, bring your cheering hat tomorrow to the Heat's house and try and drown out those dopes with their Coney Island hot dogs. And let's see if the Miami Heat can get themselves a win here. But in all seriousness, Miami did a fine job this week. They took 3 out of 4. They were able to take out the 2 stinkers at the end of the week, dominate them, which was nice to see. You get healthy and you see Miami go to work against just 2 dreadful teams. I don't know how much more you can take of it other than you're seeing Bam Adebayo play some tremendous basketball right now. The 3-point shot seems like it's been a cool element to add to his game. Terry Rozier has been lighting the world on fire. He's looked really great. And you got Jimmy Butler back, after the whole tennis gate where he got sick after going to the Miami Open. He then comes back. Still have not had a Jimmy Butler monster performance since the Cleveland blowout game where Bam was out for that game, and he really closed out that road trip in a big way and looked absolutely fantastic after he was dealing with his own injuries, with the foot injury. And this is going to be interesting to see what Jimmy does. This is a Knicks team that doesn't necessarily have the blueprint a lot of teams do to stop Jimmy Butler other than when they go Kurt Angle on his ass and Josh Hart tries to take out his ankles. Missed a game winner against him earlier in the year. So definitely would love to see, Jimmy come to this game and attack it with the intensity that we know that he's capable of. He's getting called out by local columnists down here. In fact, it was Dave Hyde who was saying, and look, Dave's one of the longtime writers down here. And so when you're getting called out by Dave Hyde, mother bleeper, you better show up. And Dave Hyde said it's time for Jimmy Butler to show up and make a statement, make a closing statement on the Heat regular season. And I actually thought the most interesting thing is with Dave's question about Jimmy is he says he's making the point, I don't want to spoil the column, but makes the point, that's assuming he still can take over games night after night at the age of 34, which is an interesting looming question. Jimmy Butler at his age, is he able to summon that? Is that going to run? Not everybody's LeBron James. Not everybody is a freak like that and they can summon these powers. You can do it from time to time, but can you do it as frequently as necessary as you need it? And that, I think, is going to be the interesting thing for this Miami team. With all of these games left, with all of whatever postseason this goes to, wherever this story ends this year, maybe it ends with a championship. Maybe Jimmy is able to summon it. But, the whole point and the whole pursuit in the offseason of Damian Lillard was the thought that, and I know Damian Lillard's not young, but I think all of it was put in the caveat of, can the Miami Heat find somebody to take some of the offensive burden off of Jimmy Butler, take some of the game's burden off of Jimmy Butler. Ironically, what that has turned into this year in the regular season has been, can the Miami Heat find anybody to take some of the burden off Bam Adebayo? Because all of it has really fallen on him to run the offense, be the best scorer, add a 3-point shot, be the best rebounder. And you don't know, Bam as the lead dog on a playoff team. We don't know what that looks like because he's always been the guy who has been Jimmy's wingman. He's been there and he's had some monster clutch performances and some closeout games, and he's got one of the most iconic blocks of all time. And he's shown himself to be a very capable playoff player. But I think the interesting thing with this little run here towards the end is you have stuck in this 7 spot. You tied in the loss column with Indiana, who definitely has a much easier schedule than you do this week in particular. It's not out of the realm of possibility that you could catch the Knicks. It's not out of the realm of possibility that you can catch the Magic, but do we really believe that this Miami Heat team can get back to where they were in February and bring the consistency needed over these final, what are we talking? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games. Is it possible for Miami to summon that? They got 3 against stinkers with 2 Torontos, who's basically tanking, and Atlanta. But the other 5, Dallas, Indiana, Houston, Philadelphia, New York, all teams that have proven to be capable or are really good, and they've lost 2 earlier in the year. So it is a very interesting time, and I do think that it is going to be a lot of Heat Nation looking at Jimmy Butler and saying, what do you got for us tonight, 22? What do you have to bring to the table? Because I think it's going to be interesting that you have a game coming up here. We don't know about Tyler Hero, obviously. That's basically, at this point, you have to look at Tyler Hero as the bonus once it gets here. But for right now, tomorrow's going to be as healthy as you have been in a very, very long time. Kevin Love's suiting up. Caleb Martin's back. Duncan Robinson's back. The whole kit and caboodle. Maybe you have a couple guys banged up here and there. Hey, this is a Knicks team that doesn't have OG Anunoby, who's dealing with God knows what in his elbow. Julius Randle's got the shoulder injury. Mitchell Robinson's banged up on an ankle. They got as many, if not more, injury problems than the Miami Heat do right now. So they're coming into your building. Miami has to be in a position to come in here and make a statement because, 1, this could very much end up being a playoff series again. 2, this is, look, for regular season games, whether you think they matter, they don't. Yeah, has the NBA been watered down? Yeah, to a degree. I appreciate on this, particular avenue that you hardcore fans that tune in after every single game to get my meanderings about these games, I appreciate it because I still do watch every Miami Heat game. Like it means something. Some of them, I may be a little bit tipsy and I may have to throw back some cocktails or substances, just because it's a weekend game and, they're taking on the Wizards. But hey, we're there. We're there, baby. And we're trying to have some fun watching it. And so you have this chance this week where you're not only taking on New York, but it seems like you're going to take on a Philadelphia team that's getting back Joel Embiid. So, yeah, these are going to be interesting tests for Miami. These are going to be a little bit of, all right, it's time to show something. People say you can't beat signature teams. You've beaten some nice teams. You've gotten some wins against the Kings and the Cavs and the Pelicans on the road, and you've gone toe-to-toe with some teams. You've gone toe-to-toe with the Celtics, and you've gone toe-to-toe and come short against the Denver Nuggets. But, this is not Miami Heat, put up a banner. We went toe-to-toe with somebody. You want to get some wins that feel like they have some substance. And for right now, the prize for Miami is, look, this is a team that wants some time off. Well, go play your ass off for these last 2 weeks and get yourself a week off. I mean, what could be a better elixir for the Miami Heat than to watch all these idiots play in the play-in game while you get to sit home and rest up your bones a little bit, and you could get yourself set up for a 3-6 series or a 4-5 series. To me, that's like the most stupidly obvious prize out of all of this stuff. Yeah, you went there last year. Is it possible that Miami could do it again? Hey, I mean, it'd be stupid until, the line is flat on this Miami Heat season to ever doubt them, because that's just the kind of, adversity they've shown you they can get through. But do you want to put yourself in better positions? Yeah, obviously. And especially if you are going to go into this thing and you're like, you know what? Do you want to face Boston off the top, especially if Tyler Hero's coming right? Well, let's say this. Let's say Tyler Hero comes back last 3 games of the season, right? You really want to take 3 games to get Tyler and everything included, whether he's on a minutes restriction or you're going to start him again or you're going to try and figure all of this hierarchy out. You want to go right into a Boston series and figure that out? You want to go right into even a Bucks series and figure that out? Hey, it's possible. If Jimmy Butler can put on the cape like Dave Hyde is asking him to, then all things are possible. But in reality, wouldn't you like to feel like you have a little bit of wiggle room in going into these series? Because the one thing that was noticeable from the Boston series and Milwaukee, you got to hit them in the snot box right away. There cannot be this whole, oh, we're figuring stuff out. We lose a couple on their home floor. We'll come back. No. You have to go into these series, slug the bully right in the face, and take their home court advantage. That's what Miami needs to do. And so I really hope over these next 8 games, but let's just start with these first 2 against the Knicks and the Sixers, that Miami is able to show that they have been waiting for what Jimmy calls that time. That Bam Adebayo, who's been taking this game by game, ramps it up a little bit. That Terry Rozier, who's been blending himself in, starts putting the scary hours on these types of performances. That Kevin Love is going to be good to go, and that everybody's able to give what they need to give. That Jaime Jaquez has put on his climbing boots and he's ready to scale the rookie wall. That Caleb Martin is ready to be like that pinball buzzsaw that he's so capable of being, because you need all of that. And then you can get an early prize on this. You can rest up a little bit and wait and see where the chips fall with this whole thing. But it starts on Tuesday night against the New York Knicks. That is going to be the critical thing. And then after that, you get to see a real look at the Philadelphia 76ers with your former point guard alongside getting their MVP candidate back, and see, can Miami show you something? You can take on one of the hottest teams in basketball with the Houston Rockets going into their building on Friday. The high-powered Indiana Pacers and everything that they can bring to the table. And can you actually keep up with a high-scoring performance? You'll get all of these things answered by this time next week. And you're just hopeful that outside of Tyler Hero, who you're still waiting on, you get a full look at this Miami Heat team, that they can play to the best of their abilities. And if they do, yeah, I think Miami can beat all of these chumps. All of these chumps. All these remaining 8 chumps, technically 7 chumps because you play the tanking Raptors twice. But if they play to their kit, yeah, that the best version of this Heat team can definitely take care of that. But, would you like it to start immediately against a team that's ahead of you in the standings, that you had a playoff series with, that their annoying-ass fan base has infested our state, and you'd like to send them all home sad into their stupid Ray's pizza? Yes, I would like that very much. Would I like to make Gaylord Fokker, Ben Stiller sad tomorrow night? Yeah, I would. So, I'm going to be excited there, baby. Boots on the ground to check this one out. Heat, Knicks from the Kaseya Center to start what should be a very intriguing week of Miami Heat basketball.